coming up.
Her words, her actions started a movement of change.
Remembering Virginia Giuffre's incredible bravery.
It's really hard being back here. It should be ripped down. It should be burned to the ground.
The woman who fought to tell the truth.
She put Epstein in prison. She put Maxwell in prison.
This is a real photo.
She had Prince Andrew stripped of his titles.
After a shocking abuse of power.
While Virginia could face many demons, that moment was more than she could handle.
That's next on 60 Minutes. This is a story of great tragedy, but also remarkable triumph. We first met sex abuse survivor Virginia Giuffre 6 years ago when she was in combat mode, on a mission to bring to account the notorious trio of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew. For years, Virginia crusaded for justice and an end to human sex trafficking. But sadly, 2 weeks ago, haunted by physical and emotional scars, the 41-year-old died at her home north of Perth. Those closest to her will always be awed by her strength and the hope she gave to so many. Virginia Giuffre's life was never easy. But she overcame sexual abuse as a young girl, homelessness, and sex trafficking rings to make an extraordinary difference.
I think Virginia's legacy is something that we haven't seen before in our history. She has left us with a feeling that irrespective of whether you're a president, a politician, a billionaire, or a prince, that you can be held accountable. You are not above the law.
To her lawyer and friend, Sigrid McCauley, Virginia was lion-hearted, and her message reverberated around the world when she most famously and courageously accused Prince Andrew of having sex with her while she was still a minor. How many times were you trafficked to him?
3 times.
So as you know, Prince Andrew denies the allegations against him, and he says that this photo is a fake, that he was never there, and that is not his arm, and they're not his fingers.
Those are his fingers. That is Andrew. This photo has been verified as an original, and it's been since given to the FBI, and he needs to stop with all of these lame excuses. We're sick of hearing it. This is a real photo.
Virginia's decision to be the first to forego anonymity to also accuse billionaire Jeffrey Epstein and socialite Ghislaine Maxwell of sex abuse and sex trafficking changed the course of many lives. To take on those names and that power, how brave was that?
Virginia's just remarkable. She put Epstein in prison. She put Maxwell in prison. She had Prince Andrew stripped of his titles. It is truly tremendous. Financial institutions that settled with the Epstein survivors for many millions of dollars. Her words, her actions were incredible, and they started a movement of change.
But on the late evening of Anzac Day this year, emergency workers were called to her home, a property north of Perth, where they were unable to revive the 41-year-old. Police and family confirmed the shocking news. Virginia had taken her own life.
In the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight.
When you learned of her death, what was your reaction?
Overwhelming surprise and disbelief, true disbelief. It took me several hours to even come to terms with the fact that that was real.
There's a lot of scars hidden behind those walls. It's hard. It's really hard being back here.
We first met Virginia in 2019, following the prison cell death of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Outside his former New York mansion, Virginia emotionally recounted how the convicted sex offender ruined the lives of countless teenage girls.
It should be ripped down. It should be burned to the ground. Some of my worst memories are from this place.
Virginia was 16 when, in 2000, she was ensnared in this deeply disturbing underworld by British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, who is now serving a 20-year jail term.
that I'm the cruelest, meanest, horriblest person who's committed crimes.
Hired to be a private masseuse, Virginia said she was sexually abused by the pair before being trafficked to their powerful friends, including Prince Andrew, a claim he continues to deny, despite settling a civil suit with Virginia in 2022 for an undisclosed sum.
I mean, they're just two of a like mind, you know? They both love having sex with young women.
It was escaping to Australia that made Virginia most happy. This mum of three, drawn to horses and the quiet life away from the big city.
This country is a second chance for a lot of people. For me, it was a second chance at a new life. I'll always be grateful to Australia. It's, yeah, down to its blood. I love it.
But Virginia was clearly distressed in the last weeks of her life. In this recent, confusing social media post, appearing bruised and battered, Virginia claimed she was suffering renal failure after a car accident involving a school bus. Most disturbingly, she said she'd been given only 4 days to live. Were you very concerned about her mental health when you read the post that said, I have 4 days to live and I am ready to go?
I was concerned about her physical health. Frankly, Virginia is always someone to rally. So every time I talked to her, she could find the sunny side of something. So she was still very uplifted, and we were focused on getting her care in the United States.
Did you fear that she might take her own life?
I did not fear that. That's why I think the disbelief has been so strong. It's just, I keep thinking I'm going to see her again.
Virginia had much in her life to be fragile about: chronic physical pain and enduring emotional scars. She was also devastated to be estranged from her children. How much do you think her anguish in the last couple of weeks that led to this very tragic event was stemmed in the abuse that she suffered as a child and growing up? And how much of it do you believe is linked to the estrangement from her children and the breakdown of her marriage?
It's a great question. I mean, I think that anybody who's a mother would feel and understand that being deprived access to your children has to be the worst thing that could ever happen to you. So I think that while Virginia could face many demons in her life and many villains, that moment of deprivation, I think, was something that was more than she could handle.
Virginia's loss will be felt keenly by the survivors of sexual abuse she supported right until the end, as was discovered in this, her final note. For those who knew and loved her, there is now an aching hole. And you think of the woman who loved horses, who loved blue butterflies. How will you remember Virginia?
I used to say that we had broken through the lawyer-client line because she would sign her emails, "I love you, Siggy." And, she was just a dear person in my life. And I think that, the world will not be the same without her. It just won't be.
Of course, if this story has raised issues and you need to speak with someone, help is available. Call Lifeline on 13 11 14. Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.